Well, hello everyone and welcome to the 2025 BMW X3 M50. This is an all-new vehicle and we are here in our one-week test review to kind of get everything in order to see how this vehicle is for this all-new generation. Of course, we have the upgraded next level of the B58 we've seen on this vehicle here, so a little bit of some minor tweaks and changes there. Similar power output numbers to before, 393 claimed horsepower. We know it's probably making a little bit more than that. ZF 8-speed gearbox, of course, latest iDrive 9 interface, this wacky, wild new interior, but definitely go check out our full tour and review to kind of get a full in-depth look at everything that's happening in this vehicle. On our other video, in this one we're going to take a full POV drive and see how this all-new X3 handles out on the road, see what's different. We have a new electronic steering rack system that BMW has implemented here, new suspension, a lot of new stuff going on here. So let's see how it is out on the road. Of course, we have great parking cameras in this particular one, or all around us. Parking assistant, it can map out routes as well and kind of reverse in and out of it, which is really incredible, and great 360 views as well in this vehicle. So that's not an issue whatsoever. And they're also interactive, so you can see the headlights are on with the turn signal there, which is kind of cool. We also have a lot of other fun stuff in here, plenty of drive modes. We have 3 main drive modes, but within these menus you can kind of dive into some more stuff. So for sports, has plenty of other more aggressive settings in it. For example, we have some cool animations from the interior lighting elements as well. So a lot of fun stuff to play around with in this vehicle, and it's definitely not slow whatsoever. It's still an light vehicle in that sense with the B58. This little stubby shifter here with S, manual mode as well, drive, first, neutral, all that fun stuff located right down here. But let's head off and see how this new X3 is like to drive. Immediately we have our seatbelts that tighten us a little bit, so that's a nice welcome touch here. And it's definitely a refreshing new driving experience compared to the previous generation X3. And you know, if you're not a fan of the looks of this new vehicle inside or out, you will still be able to appreciate the incredible and signature BMW driving experience this car still happens to have. So I really am happy about that in this all-new X3 here. Now with the new steering wheel, for example, we have a new steering rack as well, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting. It's a very light rack. There isn't a lot of weight to it. There isn't a lot of necessary direct connected feel in that sense, so that combination kind of removes a little bit of that more natural feel you have in the steering. But it is incredibly direct, and still with this chunky M steering wheel, when you kind of grip it like this in the right correct points here, you feel like you're almost one with the car. And right now we're not in, you know, sport mode, so we don't have the sporty steering on there. You really can kind of precisionally point this vehicle where you want it to go at any time, and it goes. So that I really appreciate still with the BMW steering. It's a very quick yet kind of a more lighter feeling rack there, so it's interesting what they've done there. But throw it into a corner and it handles it like no one's tomorrow. Still probably one of my favorite handling SUVs in this class. Suspension is really good. Brakes are fantastic. We have the upgraded brakes on this particular one with the additional M package here, so we also get red calipers, but they are quite nice. Like I said, very precise steering, very neutral handling with the suspension as well. You don't get a lot of body roll. It's very well controlled, and that B58 instantly kicks into life there. And you can see how great and progressive the brake feel here is. You have a lot of control with how much brake pressure you want to dial into this vehicle, so that's a fantastic feature there. And what you do really press on it, instant stopping power, so no complaints there whatsoever. M2 over there, and an X2 BMW family. Those are real pops, guys. That is not fake engine sound coming in there. I've heard it on the outside and can confirm it. It's pretty cool of an engine sound here on this new X3. And yeah, it's still fun to drive of a vehicle. The 8-speed ZF automatic is pretty quick shifting still. Nothing has really changed there in that department. And you know, when you pop it in that S transmission mode here, it still really does come into its own. You still have that manual control with these very large paddle shifters now. They're more of a plasticky feeling before. They're rubber backed, which is nice. But that is how you can kind of manually shift your BMW X3 M50. and some really aggressive shifts out of the ZF 8-speed. That's still one of my favorite things with this gearbox, is that how well you can tune it. Well, the manufacturers can tune it to be really aggressive with shifting, and BMW is one of the best tunings of this gearbox still. Now, suspension is adaptive, so you have comfort and sport now you can actually change, so it's not just a passive system. Still, generally, even in comfort, it's on the stiffer end of the transmission, I mean the suspension spectrum there for dampers. So you're definitely going to feel that around town. Though nonetheless, if you want, you know, a non-stiff suspension, you can just go for a regular good old X3 30. But it's not the stiffest vehicle in this class. I would still say the new GLC 43 is a little bit stiffer. So this has a really good progressive suspension system, so it still is able to soak up those bumps and dampen them a little bit, even with the more stiffer damping for the body control. So they've done a good separation between those two areas right there. But you're still going to feel it in your seat just a little bit more so than a regular X3. Coming out onto the highway here, we're going to take it out of our S transmission just for a second here. I'm going to pop it back into a more calmer, efficient mode here as traffic builds up, and this is where we can pop into play our driving assistant professional package here. So all we have to do is press that on, can change it from assisted driving to just distance driving right there. And since this one doesn't have the connected services, I don't believe we can use the assisted plus, which is where you can actually take your hands off the wheel under a certain speed in traffic conditions, and the car will kind of help you around there. There's also automatic lane change as well when using the connected BMW navigation system, which is a pretty cool feature as well. So that's a fun touch. Get a little bit of some downshifts into their sport transmission. See how it accelerates. Some pops coming off there. Really nice sounds. Good control through the corners. A little bumpy, but good body control. So you're gonna feel a little bit of those bumps. And the shifts, lightning quick, even in the manual setting there. So really appreciate that in the all-new BMW X3 M50. And it's a great highway car. They've really toned in the interior sounds as well, so it's kind of a little more sound reduction from the exterior sounds from other vehicles. So the glass is a little bit more thicker, a little bit more body insulation, but I'm still impressed they were able to kind of keep a little bit more of that natural engine sound coming in from under the car from the exhaust, some intake sound. And yes, there's still a little bit stuff popped in from the speakers, but it's less than some other BMWs I have tested as of recent. And everything while you are driving, if you're using those adaptive modes as well, for adaptive cruise control, things are easy to adjust in a quick manner as well. You'll definitely get used to it over time with all the iDrive. I always like to say that these new BMWs have a lot of helpful kind of cheat code shortcuts now. So if you want to access light controls, there's a little button there. It'll access more light controls up here. Interior light controls, that opens up there. Drive mode controls, a little shortcut button there, and it brings up some more settings. So I'm really appreciative that they understand that people still want some hard buttons, and they have them placed throughout the interior in a very good manner. And out here on the highway is where this vehicle has another split personality. And even with this really powerful inline-6 engine under the hood, this thing is so efficient still at the end of the day. If you're not driving it aggressively in efficient mode, this thing can just efficient coast on the highway. And I can prove that to you from going to our home screen here and go to our adaptive content, and it gives us a live readout of what's happening with the vehicle. So we're now efficient coasting, and BMWs coast so well on the highway. You feel like you're still moving. Some hybrids, such as Toyota's Series hybrid system, Series Power Law hybrid systems, there's always this constant regenerative braking effect that's happening. And even on the highway, you feel like you're trying to go a little bit quick, but you always feel like you're coming to a stop if you want to let off. It's always better, I think, to be coasting on highway scenarios, and BMW has understood this very well. This is how this vehicle can get really impressive MPG numbers on the highway, well into the 30s for this 400 horsepower turbocharged inline-6. But that 48-volt mild hybrid system has really been kind of tuned in a little bit more so to really improve those MPG numbers. Also, the auto stop start system with this 48-volt motor is seamless. Listen to this engine start. You don't feel it or hear it. It's really incredible. You barely even feel it turn off. So yeah, guys, this is still a very, very fun car to drive around the time. It's a perfect performance daily, I would say. It has the power, it has the ability to be still efficient, so it hasn't lost that capability whatsoever. But this car is a little bit more polarizing for some, a little bit more bold, a little bit more too much technology, I would say, in some areas. So definitely take that into consideration if you are looking at an all-new X3. But I still have enjoyed my week with this vehicle. Like I said, it has that amazing capability of having a completely split personality in all the right ways in terms of this driving experience. That driving experience is still here. The powertrain that we all know and love of BMWs is also still here. So that is a great part of this X3. It's a different formula, a different, more technical focused take on traditional, BMW's ethos of driving pleasure and performance here. So if that's something that you like, you will like this new X3. But no doubt in my mind, this interior it doesn't feel as luxurious or as more upscale as even the previous generation one did. So I really hope they take that into consideration, because I know I'm not the only one voicing this, and I wouldn't say it if it weren't true. I do genuinely feel that about this interior. So hopefully they'll take all these kind of notes into consideration going down the road, and maybe we'll make those changes in a future update of the X3. But for now, this is what we have, and it does definitely fit into the modern BMW lineup. And, as I'll always say, if you want something a little bit more premium, a little more luxurious, and have the extra dough to kind of shell out, go for the X5. Yes, it's a little bit bigger, but it still drives pretty good, even for its larger size. And over against a lot of its competitors, I still probably will end up taking this X3 over it. It still has that unique persona experience, both digital and physical, that only BMW can really offer. So that is my take on this all-new BMW X3. Some things, like I said, you'll love it or hate it, but at the end of the day, it's still a BMW at heart and in the experience on a day-to-day basis. Thank you guys for watching this video, and as always, stay tuned for more coming on Allcarnews.